Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's not often that a more attractive person comes in studio, but I guess I have to concede as Ali Krieger has come in studio and is joining us for an hour. Ali, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me. Are
you used to, you won the World Cup. You've been everywhere. You've got like a gazillion Twitter followers. Are you used to radio? Is this a comfort zone for you? You've been on TV. What's the true comfort zone for you aside from a soccer field?
Yes, I've had one or two interviews in my career. So yeah, I'm totally comfortable. This is awesome. I haven't been in studio too often. The radio station's usually just on the phone, so this is fun.
Well, we appreciate you coming in. I don't know if you saw any pictures of what went down in Cleveland today. There were 1.3 million people in Cleveland today. And I thought, too, I'm like, well, you've been in a victory parade before, just a year ago.
Yeah.
What was your... How many were there? Was it just one big one in New York, or you guys traveled all around for a while, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw a few of those photos, and I could definitely relate. We were in New York City, and it was probably the most incredible experience of my life besides winning the World Cup championship. And there were at least 1 million people in New York City, and we were on the streets, on the floats, and there were probably 10 to 12 floats and we were all kind of split up. So we would look down the side streets and up in the buildings, and people are just like waving and just filling the streets, like even the side streets, not even the main street. And it was just incredible. There was confetti everywhere. There was paper everywhere. There was people everywhere. People were just screaming and in support of our team, and it was awesome.
J.R. Smith was the belle of the ball today. He just didn't want to wear a shirt, was lifting up children like
I saw a few of those videos.
It was Simba. It was unbelievable. Who was the wildest from Team USA last year?
Oh gosh.
Were you part? How wild did you get?
No, I keep it together. I'm like, classy. I try and keep it classy for sure. But I think all of us were just at a moment we were just so exhausted from the game, and we had like nothing left to give because it was such an exhausting tournament, and we had given every little piece of ourselves. And then, you get to the party and you're just like letting it loose, like it's just, so I think all of us kind of got a little wild and rightfully so. But I'd say Megan Rapinoe and, I don't know. We all were able to get on stage with our families at different times throughout the night to play our favorite song, and all of our families got up there with us, and we danced around and just, I don't know.
That's awesome.
For the life of the party for a few minutes.
Ali Krieger has joined us in studio. Remind me, was it in Vancouver?
Yes.
Oh, I love Vancouver.
It was a beautiful city, beautiful place to play. The weather was perfect. They said it was raining before the tournament, and then after the tournament we left. So those 4 weeks that we were there, it was beautiful sunshine, awesome weather, and we just had the best time.
What did you guys do? I can only imagine. The build up, obviously, we don't have to get into it too much, but the letdown in 2011, there was the response in 2012 in the Olympics, but to win the World Cup is obviously the ultimate goal. What did you guys do to celebrate just in that moment?
We had worked our entire lives for that moment. Obviously we were devastated back in 2011 when we lost to the same team in the final. So we were motivated for the 4 previous years up until last summer to win and to get back to where we were and to have that opportunity again and to prove that we're the best team in the world. So I think all that hard work, we didn't want to let that slide, and it was so rewarding being on that podium and hoisting the trophy and just going through that experience again, because I think we didn't play our best football until the China game, which was the round of 16, and then throughout the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals. We really showed why we were the best team in the world, and throughout that tournament, it was just we were super confident, and I had the best time, and I think our team was just we played our best football.
I was sitting in this exact chair when that game was going on, and I was hosting a show, and I had the game on in the TV right to my left, and I just kept looking out. I'm like, how she scored again. I mean, when you're sitting back there and watching Carly Lloyd put on the show that she did, I mean, what do you say?
Incredible player. We all were just sitting there. I was thinking exactly what you guys were thinking. I was like, oh my God, like what is going on?
She's making your job easier.
Right?
Like,
I'm just
I can
chilling.
sit back on
like,
defense. I don't have to do anything now.
I got to sat in a lawn chair with a drink and an umbrella. But no, in all seriousness, we all were just like, what is going on? This is amazing. Do your thing. Like I was more tired. I kept saying this to different people that I was like more exhausted from chasing her around celebrating because she was running all over the field and with excitement, and I don't know, it just was incredible. The atmosphere was great. The fans were just red, white, and blue everywhere and screaming, and it was incredible. And we all were just like, all right, the first 16 minutes of the game, that never happened. That rarely happens in a final, let alone like a World Cup. So we all were just like, okay, everyone calm down. Let's breathe. Let's make sure
let's wait for those 90 minutes to tick off, then we can finally celebrate.
Exactly. So we had to kind of make sure we kept it in our minds that it was still 0-0.
I remember there was it an issue playing on turf? Did you not like that? I mean, I've never played soccer on turf, so I would, as a dummy, I'm like, oh, that'd be better. It's skipping along. The beats. What's the difference, and why was that kind of an issue?
It's terrible. We call it a terrible turf. We were like, let's get this botch tournament over with and just go home because this turf is terrible. I mean, every practice field was different. Every game field was different. We were just like, we can't do anything about it. We have to adjust, and I thought we did a great job of that. And we were like, you know what? We're gonna just take one game at a time. One field at a time, and just try and crush it no matter what. The ball's bouncing everywhere. You can't really, when you're out there on the field and you're used to grass, and which the game should be played on every single game, then you get on this surface that's somewhat like just a hard concrete type of surface, and the ball's skidding every different direction, and especially for the goalkeepers, like you even kick it a certain way or differently, or if you're serving the ball, you can't really get underneath of it as much as you can on grass, or the pace of the pass is going to be a lot quicker, and they have to water the pitch before we go out there because the ball sticks on the turf more than the grass. And so there's a lot of things that you have to do to adjust the game more on turf that instead of playing on grass. But we adjusted really well. We just had to just figure it out, and we did.
Everyone else is playing on it, right?
Exactly. So
a lot of those turf pellets get in your eye.
No, thankfully, but definitely in other places that I don't want to talk about. We would go in the shower and be like, oh,
all right,
this is new.
We're talking to Allie Krieger, joining us in studio, and so many big names. You guys are all mega stars now, but one of the biggest stars is the person who's behind you, Hope Solo. She seems like a fiery one back there. Being in defense in front of Hope Solo, what's it like? I mean, she seems like she's just nonstop barking. Yeah,
I mean, she's one of the best goalkeepers, if not the best goalkeeper in the world, and she proved that throughout the tournament. She comes up big in big games, and she's our rock back there, and you want to play well. Not only for her, but for the team, but also because she's so confident, and I guess she has high expectations, and she really pushes us to play our best, and she strives for greatness, and she's determined to succeed, and you could see that in her eyes. She's very, very confident, and that's what you need in a goalkeeper, and she resembles that, and she's been very strong for many, many years for us. Going to the Olympics for you, I know you had to deal with an injury, so you're unable to play in 2012. How gratifying is it going to be for you to play in the Olympics? Very gratifying. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. I'm going to be honored to put on our jersey and play my first Olympic Games. I think that I was motivated when, unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend the 2012 London Olympics. And so this is, means a little bit more to me. And I'm very, very thrilled. I'm obviously, the team will be announced next month, I think, so I'm very hopeful. Yeah. And I'm just really excited to be a part of something bigger than just ourselves in soccer, because you're a part of Team USA. You're not just a part of the soccer team. You're a part of a bunch of teams and a bunch of athletes who I really respect and who inspire me to want to be great at what I do. So I think being a part of Team USA is going to be something that is so different than, maybe going to a World Cup where the focus is on soccer. Can you compare the two? I mean, is it comparable? I mean, what's bigger, World Cup or Olympics? Oh, for us, World Cup. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's the tournament for us, for our sport, and it's the biggest tournament in the world, and for all sports. So I think that is the tournament for us, and obviously you can't compare the two. One's not better than the other, but for us in our specific sport, obviously the World Cup is more important for us.
Allie Krieger, very kind of her to join us in studio for a full hour. Still a lot to get to. Got to get to her roots here in the D.C. area, the team she's currently played for as well. So a lot to get to. Allie Krieger in studio with us for the entire hour. It's DMV Game Time.
Bring it! Murray and Ashu. DMV Game Time on ESPN 980 and the ESPN 980 app.
Adams chipping it. Chance now with a header and a save from solo. Unitas Taylor. Second chance is blocked. Third chance, and there's the goal for Allie Krieger. Bangs it left-footed over Hope Solo.
You don't score many of those.
What are you trying to say?
Well, you play defense.
No, I know. I don't.
You switched positions in college, is that right?
I did. One of our center backs got injured, and we had an extra center midfield, which is where I was playing. And my coach had said, look, we just want to move you back there for a few games until, Lindsay gets healthy again, and then we're going to go from there. And I said, oh, cool. I don't mind. That's fine. And they absolutely had nobody else to put back there. And so they told me to fill the spot and then brought someone else in, and we ended up doing fairly well. So I was
so you owe your coach everything.
I do, because I got co-defensive player of the year that year, and and it was wild in the Big Ten. So yeah, that was fun.
You went to Forest Park High School in Nova.
Go Bruins!
Washington Post Player of the Year. I was up for that award in 2005. Politics, man, I tell you, it gets you. It gets you all the time.
I'm sorry
you
about
were fortunate to get it, though. How? I got to imagine going to Penn State every time. I guess it's true with soccer too, because I get frustrated when basketball players go elsewhere, and it happens all the time. Kevin Durant going to Texas, and the list goes on and on. I mean, same happens with football players, and I guess with women's soccer players too. You left Virginia and could have went to Maryland. You go to Penn State.
Yes.
How did that work out?
I was like, bye, girl. She's out of here. I obviously would have loved to have gone to a Virginia school, but I wanted to, go explore somewhere new, have that a new experience. I knew some of the girls that had played, which they were a year ahead of me at Penn State already. We had played on the regional ODP team together, when we were younger. So I felt like I had known, a few of the girls, which was great. I felt comfortable in going for, a visit and just to see how I liked it. And I really, really enjoyed the State College. The town was the school, and the school was the town. It was just a family-type feel, and everyone was supporting everyone. And, of course, Joe Pa was there. And it was a football town, and just the school was so incredible. There were 41,000 students there. It was such a big school, and I just felt like it was a great fit for me. Right when I stepped on campus, I was like, all right, this is what I'm talking about. This is going to be good for me.
I was an opposing fan in a whiteout, and that, to this day, is the most intimidating thing I have ever been a part of in my life. 109,000 people in white shirts, and then this sliver of blue.
Yeah.
So, do you have a Penn State football experience that you liked?
Yeah, actually, it was this past fall. I mean, besides beating Ohio State, I think back in, I don't know if it was 06 or 07, but I remember Michael Robinson. He was our quarterback at the time, and it was an incredible game. I think we went on the field before the game, bringing recruits to that game.
Nice.
It was a night game, and it was so awesome. I think we had a game the next day, so we had to end up going home by halftime, but we all watched it on TV. And I just remember after winning that game, the streets were packed. The house that I lived on was on one of the main streets, and the streets were packed. We went outside. Everybody was running up and down the sidewalks, high-fiving each other, screaming, chanting. It was an awesome feel. Everyone was just supporting our team and supporting each other. And also then this past fall, they had recognized the World Cup players, Alyssa Nair and I, who played together at Penn State. She was a goalkeeper, and she was also on the World Cup team. And we got invited back with Carmelina Moscato, who was on the Canadian national team. And we all played together at Penn State. So we got invited back in October for the game, against Army, I think. Anyway, but I was able to go on the field.
It was a game. We'll just leave it at that.
It was a game, and I was able to go on the field, and they wanted me to do the "We Believe" chant.
Really?
And so I took the mic, and we did the "We Believe" chant, and everybody, all the students. It was raining that day, so not many of the students showed up. They had watched it at home or at the bars and stuff, which was fine. But the ones that were there were just like amazing, and the band was into it, and the fans were into it, and everybody was chanting the "We Believe" cheer that the USA fans do, and it was an awesome experience for me.
Do you get nervous doing anything? You seem, I don't
know,
this is small potatoes. I mean, you're just talking to me, some random guy, but I feel like you've done so many big things. Do you ever get nervous?
Sometimes. I love speaking in front of people. I love inspiring people and just talking to people and getting to know people. And I don't know, I'm super open to that. And I feel really comfortable, in front of a group of people. So I don't know where that came from, because I'm a super shy person, I think, and pretty reserved. I know it doesn't maybe not seem that way, but...
Sure. When you guys went to the White House, you've probably met a ton of celebrities now. Starstruck meeting the president?
I was more just like, wow, he is so charming. Like, I don't know. I felt like somewhat. I mean, he walked into the room and he apologized because he's like, I'm sure you guys would rather meet Michelle today, but unfortunately she's not here. So I thought that was kind of cool. And we were like, well, yeah, you're right. No, he was amazing. He was incredible, so charming, so thoughtful, and really came around and shook everyone's hand and was like, you know what, I'm really proud of you. Like, congratulations. You represent our country so well. And I just thought, and you're an inspiration not only for, the nation, but for his young girls. And I was really happy with what he said and just felt really proud to meet him.
Being a celebrity now, I mean, you've probably met a ton of people. Do you get starstruck anymore?
Not really, because I feel like it's just a type of respect that you have for celebrities and or public figures. And I don't know, I don't really think about it too much. I'm like, I respect what you do and you inspire me and congrats with everything and your successes. I feel like that's more of how I feel than, oh my God. I mean, unless it's like Beyonce.
So there it is.
Yeah. If there were like Beyonce walking in the room, yeah.
We're talking to Ali Krieger, DC native. So I assume you still live in the area playing for the Spirit?
I do.
So do you still live in Nova?
Yeah, I do.
Nice.
Actually, I love Northern Virginia. I grew up here, so that's close to my heart, and obviously it's my home. But I'm currently looking around to.
How's the drive to Germantown?
It's terrible.
Yeah, that's got to be tough.
It's terrible, but I have to have the easy pass, so we're good.
There you go.
Most of the way.
You played overseas right out of college?
Yes, correct.
In Frankfurt?
Yes.
So what was it like playing over in Europe?
Amazing. I loved every second of it. Not at the very beginning. I was like, oh gosh. I showed up with like 2 bags. I mean, we didn't, first of all, let me just preface this for you. We didn't have a league in the U.S. at the time. And I was like, you know what? I want to make the national team. I want to play at the highest level. And the way that I'm going to do that is not going to be sitting here and going to having like a 9-to-5 job and not really, or playing every Tuesday, Thursday with like a group of my guy friends, kick around, so that's not going to cut it. So I need to make a decision. And the league in the Bundesliga, had offered me a tryout. I had a connection there, and from a family friend. And then I went over, I had a tryout, and I just brought like 2 bags, and I was like, hey, can I like come play, basically? And so I show up for training. I had like a week-long training session, a tryout. And after that week, they said, hey, we want to sign you for 2 years. So then I was like, oh, well, the WPS is supposed to come back in 2009, so this would be perfect. I have a place to play and whatever. And if I don't like it, then I'll just go home. There's other things that you could do. But if I didn't try it, I was like, I probably would have regretted that. So stayed. The first 3 months were terrible. I didn't know the language. I didn't, no one.
Do you know German now?
Yeah, I do. I'm
fluent
in German.
Wow.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's impressive.
Well, I was so bored half the time because I'm like, all I had to do was go to training. And I'm like, well, what can I do? I feel like I'm just worthless right now. So or useless. And so I said, well, if I have to do interviews and stuff and I want to learn my how my teammates are and their personalities. I want to kind of integrate into the culture and I didn't expect anyone to speak English anyway. So I'm I gotta sink or swim here. So I took a class, a German class, 3 times a week, 3 hours a day. And our common language in the class was German. No one spoke English, because everybody was from all around the world.
Yeah.
So I obviously then made friends in my German class, and we all spoke, German to each other, and it was great. It was a really nice experience. Not only the soccer part of it, but I grew as a person there. Loving the culture and having that experience, the food, the people, the place, and just being able to travel in Europe. I really it opened up my eyes to a lot of different things and broadened my perspective.
At what point in your career, was it high school, college, that you said, you know what, I want to play for Team USA. I want this to be my job?
I think it was, in 91 when I went to the Women's World Cup, and where they had it here in the U.S. and we won that year. And I remember going to a game. I think it was USA versus Germany in D.C. actually, and I went with a few of my family members, and I was sitting there and I said, you know what, I want to do what they're doing. These women are so incredible. They're so strong. They're motivating, and just the determination and competitiveness that they had, that they showed on that field. I was very, very impressed, and that just motivated me to want to do something that I loved, which at that time was soccer and playing, and I had so much fun doing that. So, and playing a team sport, which I really loved to do, and I was like, I want to be the best player I can be. I want to be in their shoes. I want to put on that USA jersey. So from that day on, I never looked back, and I just tried to set little goals for myself, and hoped that that it would work out, and that I would put in all the effort I could to help myself be successful.
Was it just soccer from that point, or did you play other sports?
I played other sports. I
Good.
love volleyball.
Good.
I played basketball a little bit. I was a little point guard back in the day. I stopped playing basketball in high school because I wanted to be a cheerleader for a year, because all my girlfriends were cheerleaders.
Well, in Northern Virginia, it worked out because they got spring soccer, so you're good.
Yes, and my Russian jump was amazing.
I have no idea what that is.
Okay, I won't show you here, but I don't want to pull any muscles. But I played volleyball, and I played club volleyball too in high school, which I love so much. I was a setter and a right side hitter, and we got to the state championships, and it was awesome. We won regionals in high school, and so that was an amazing experience. And it helped also with soccer, because I learned different types of skills in other sports, which I think a lot of young kids should do.
And I was going to say, I mean, you inspire so many young girls, and if you go out to a Washington Spirit game, they're wearing your jersey. Yeah. Would you tell them to play other sports?
I would. I do that. If I do public speaking, there's questions that parents ask me of, hey, did you play other sports when you grew up? And I'm like, you know what? That I think it's great. I think I learned different types of skills in volleyball, like jumping and quick agility, footwork skills, and in basketball, it's similar to soccer. Other than it's a lot less amount of players on the court, but it's the same mentality. You're going to the goal, and the way you go to the goal and the way you attack and defend is a bit similar. So I took some of those skills that I learned in different sports, and I applied it to soccer, and I think it helped me a lot. And also, you get to meet different types of people, and I love team sports. So I was really having fun, and I just enjoyed it with the types of people who I played with, a lot of my friends. So
Allie Krieger is in studio with us, of course, DC native, plays for the Washington Spirit, and something is hitting newsstands very shortly that Allie was a part of last year. We'll get to that when we come back. It's DMV Game Time.
More DMV Game Time with Tim Murray and Nick Ashew.
Ball on the right side. Krieger has it. She's all the way forward. Sends it into the box. Casey's there. A goal from Allie Krieger. Puts Washington on top. Caroline Casey thought she had it. Maybe a little too confident. Went right over her fingertips. And the Washington Spirit are on the board.
Nick Ashew and Tim Murray. DMV Game Time on ESPN 980 and the ESPN 980 app.
Nick Ashew's missing out tonight. We've got Allie Krieger in studio, and played a highlight from a Washington Spirit game right there. Solid start, 5-1-2. Not bad. Not bad start to your season.
Very, very good. I'm so happy.
Just beat Alex Morgan, right?
Yes. And the rest of her team.
And the rest of our team, yeah. Is it weird? I mean,
love that.
I got to imagine a lot of the times when you go to visiting cities, it's, Allie Krieger, Crystal Dunn. It's not the Washington Spirit.
Yeah.
But, you're probably used to it.
Yeah, but it is a team sport, so.
What's the best, other than D.C., what's the best city in the league? The best atmosphere, all that?
I would say, we haven't played in Orlando, but they broke the record. They're the new team in the league this year, and they just broke the record, I think, with like 23,000 fans. And they have a lot of support from their men's team in Orlando City, which is great. And so that would probably be a really, really incredible atmosphere to play in. So we play in August there, but Portland is probably the next best. They had, I guess, 17,000 at our game when we played them. So it's growing. Women's football is growing, and you can tell that it's here to stay, the league, NWSL, and so that's very, very exciting. But those big teams, and connected to the men's program as well, they have the really good fans, and say somewhat of the hooligan fans that are there that maybe one day we'll have. But we love our Spirit Squadron that we have, and they make it very, very difficult for and intimidating for the opposite teams to come in. How did
it work? I mean, you're from D.C., so I imagine you wanted to play for the Spirit. Did you kind of get first pick? You're like, all right, I want to play for the Spirit.
Yeah, I did. And, they try to place most of us in cities that we grew up in or that we have the most influence in. And so I was so happy when, I was able to come back here. And that was the only reason why I wanted to come back, because I knew I'd be playing for my hometown team. And that I'm very, very honored. I love that women's soccer's getting so popular, not only here but in the United States and in the world, and it's so nice to see it growing, and in this area there's so many supporters. I think during the World Cup we had the second most viewing, I guess, in DC, the viewing parties that were happening, and that is just incredible. So it's really, really exciting. I'm so honored to play in my hometown and have my family and friends be able to come watch live.
Did you watch the men last night?
I did. I did.
Argentina's pretty good.
They are. I was trying to think of what Jurgen Klinsmann would say to them in the pregame meeting or the scouting report. It's like, well, I think every one of their players is a key player. So good luck. No, but. We obviously support our men's team, 100%, and we wanted, I was so happy to see them get into the, the quarterfinals,
right.
And that was
semis last night, which was nice.
Sorry, semis, yeah, exactly. So that's really, really great for them, and all the best to them.
Are you just a soccer, nerd in the sense that, are you watching the Euro right now, or are you just kind of, will you go home, you're like, just played, I just want to watch a movie?
It depends on my mood. Sometimes I love to learn, every single day. If there's a game on, I love to watch soccer and just learn and watch the players in my position and see what they do, and also other positions and see how they react. And I think I learn a lot from watching video and games. And so I really, really enjoy, during the seasons, I watch the EPL and I watch the Spanish League and the Italian leagues. And I think I just learn a lot from watching the men play. I obviously love watching the NWSL because I get to scout the other teams and our opponents. And so I have done, I think, a good job of that, watching them. They provide it on YouTube now. So it's been really, really good to watch those games and kind of have a sense of where our opponents are and how well they're doing. So I do watch a lot of soccer, but then sometimes I have to kind of shut it off and kind of recharge because we train in the morning. So I've missed some of the European, the championship games in the mornings, but then I'll go home and watch a few or rewatch them if I need to. But sometimes I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go sit out at the pool and I'm going to just rest and like relax or go to lunch with my friends and just call it a day. Game of Thrones? Yes. But
could have guessed that one, right?
Yes, yeah. But I'm only on season 4.
Oh, so you're behind.
I'm a little busy.
Okay,
all right, I'm a little busy, and
we had Sean Kelly, closer of the Nationals, on last night. Mm-hmm. They play 162 games, and he's on top of it.
Really?
Yeah. So well, I guess no excuses.
No, I mean I can't blame him. I mean he's probably in hotels like every other night.
That's true.
HBO
Go, come on.
I know. I got Apple TV.
I haven't watched one episode. I'm not.
I was gonna say I'm on season 2. Like it's not.
Okay.
Horrible. All right. Like
I'm not a Game of Thrones guy. I mentioned a particular magazine is coming out and it'll be on the newsstand, I think soon. And you were in it last year, ESPN The Body.
Yes.
How did that come about?
I think they just came to my agent and had asked if I wanted to be a part of it, and so he made the phone call and asked me how I felt about it, and I said, oh my gosh, I was like, yes, this is amazing, but I need to talk to my dad first before he sees my naked body everywhere and tries to buy every magazine out there. So I made that phone call first because I knew that I just needed him to be okay with
some approval.
Yeah, I needed that approval and his blessing to take my clothes off and do that. So, but he knew it was going to be very tasteful, and or else I wouldn't ask him to do something like that, and keeping it classy. So I did that, and I was so thrilled just to be a part of something that inspires others to just feel good in their own skin, and to live a healthy lifestyle. And I think I have so much respect for all the other athletes. I'm inspired by other athletes who were in the magazine as well. And so I thought I was just so honored and very grateful for that opportunity.
How many people were kind of surrounding you? It's not just one guy with the camera.
Holding the screen.
Yeah, there's a lot of people there.
It was a lighting guy. It was the 2 photographers with the makeup, the hair stylist. It was the guy holding the hose to spray the water. And then it was the whole video crew. That was a separate crew from the camera crew and the photographers. And so and then there was the guy holding my robe that was ready to just throw it on me whenever we had stopped. And so it was a bunch of different components and a lot of people involved, but they made me feel very, very comfortable. There was nothing that was, a little risque or anything. So I felt totally comfortable. And then as the day went on, we did like 5 different locations. Right. And so they obviously are the ones who choose the photos. So we did 5 different locations, and every location was just completely different. And the mood was different. The attitude was different. I felt I got way more confident as the day went on. So it was awesome. I loved the photos, and it just, I think, also is inspiring for just women and young girls to feel comfortable in their own skin, and that's what I want to help them represent, be a role model for.
I can't imagine just playing soccer naked, and you were playing soccer naked.
We probably get more fans.
I guess that's true. But that had to be so awkward.
Yeah, it was a little awkward.
Because you were juggling a soccer ball.
Yes, everything's
in the nude
out. Yeah, I was just trying to hide everything I could. But no, it was actually very, very empowering, and it was very raw and very honest, and that's what I loved about it.
Talking to Allie Krieger, Washington Spirit, D.C. native. Real quickly, we're going to play a game in our final segment. It's nothing. It's just it's just a choose 'em up game. It's nothing. Okay. It's nothing too crazy. Okay. But you've come back from a number of injuries, and I read about kind of one that was extremely scary in college. How have you you broke your leg in college, you tore your ACL, MCL, meniscus prior to the 2012 Olympics. How do you do it? How do you come back from all of that? Because there'd be at a point a lot of people would be like, that's it, I'm done. I'm good.
I'm over it.
Yeah.
I'm over it. I'm impressed that you knew that, because
I have to do some research.
Yeah. So I was so devastated after that moment. I had an injury in college, which was the one you're talking about with the pulmonary embolism. And I, unfortunately, 2 days before the NCAA tournament, we were playing against our men's club team just to get a faster pace. And we would do that randomly. And especially before a big tournament, that was the best competition we could have to prepare us for the tournament. So I remember it was a Wednesday, and we had training. It was a little slick out, and one of the guys had just gotten a tackle. We just gotten a tackle. I think I beat him. I went by him, and so he was probably upset.
Probably not happy about that, yeah.
No. So we kind of just gotten a little tackle, and when we fell, just landed on my leg, and so that was a moment that, unfortunately, my leg broke. I had a fracture, a spiral fracture in my fibula, my right fibula. So 2 days later, I got surgery, which was the day of the first game, where we beat Bucknell, I think, like 6-0, which was, I think the girls just had extra motivation because I wasn't a part of, that game. And then we did really well throughout that tournament. We got to the Final Four. Once I was healthy, healthy enough to travel. I was able to travel with the team and go to the Final Four. We lost in the semifinals against Portland that year, which they ended up winning. And it was just a surreal experience because it kind of put a lot of things in perspective for me. I was unsure of if I would be able to play my last year, my senior year of college and everything. So I went through that. But I made a lot of trips home. After that tournament, the Final Four, I tried to go home, to visit my mom in Florida and then come back up for Christmas to see my family here in D.C. And I think the traveling, the medication that I was on kind of created this perfect storm for the pulmonary embolism to occur. So I had multiple blood clots in my legs and my lungs. And I didn't find that out until I got back to school in January. So after Christmas, and I was wondering why I was shortage of breath. I was going to the bathroom on crutches. It was like 10 feet and I was breathing so hard. And I was like, this isn't right. Like I think I'm athletic enough to like be on crutches and, walk 10 feet to the bathroom. So it was a struggle. And I ended up going to the hospital. They admitted me to the hospital for a week because they caught my, the pulmonary embolism. Yeah. And so I had to go on 6 months of like 14 milligrams Coumadin and give myself shots and like all this stuff, whatever. So that whole experience was life-changing for me because I was 21 years old and I, wasn't sure if I was gonna live and be able to play soccer again. So I kind of had to rethink about all that and kind of put everything in perspective. And then going through the injury again, it kind of, I guess, helped me prepare for that injury in 2012 with my knee. And I just knew I wanted to be on that field. That's what made me the happiest. That's what was most fun for me and what I love to do. So nothing was going to get in the way of that. And going through that experience and seeing the team win, I was there at the final in 2012 when we beat Japan 2-0 and got the gold medal. I was sitting up in the stands and live, I guess more of a vocal leader than, physically out there helping the team. But I felt so good to be a part of such a great group of women and inspiring and motivating team that it inspired me that much more to want to get back and play on the highest level on that team and win gold medals and be successful. So I knew I had to just work my butt off, set small goals for myself, continue to do my rehab and everything and get back out on the field and try not to look back. But it was a tough road. And
probably the World Cup and going to the Olympics, it just means that much more now, too.
Right, and it came full circle because I got injured in 2012, in 2012 at the Olympic qualifying games in Vancouver on that same field that we won the World Cup final. So everything kind of came full circle for me. So it was a great game and championship to win, and I think it meant more to me individually than, for the team.
Allie Krieger is with us in studio. One more segment. We're gonna play a little game. It's nothing too crazy. Nothing to be worried about. It's DMV game time.
More DMV game time with Tim Murray and Nick Ashew. The guys want to know, will you swipe right?
I like where this is going. Giggity, giggity.
Or swipe left?
You get the hyena and I choose between the hippo and the giraffe?
On DMV game time.
So, Mike, you have to remind me. The game is swipe right, swipe left. I have never used this application before. Is swipe left good or swipe right good?
Swipe left is bad.
Okay.
Swipe right is good. Okay. Whatever you agree with or disagree with, that's how we're doing it.
Okay, so swipe right, white. Swipe white.
Swipe white.
Swipe white.
Is good.
Swipe right, swipe right.
Sorry.
Swipe right.
Swipe right.
It's going to be if you kind of agree with what I'm throwing out there or disagree, you're going to do swipe left.
Okay.
First up.
Swipe right or swipe left?
LeBron said he's not leaving Cleveland today. You guys believe in him or not?
I believe him.
So you swipe right.
Right.
I swipe left. He's gonna have a Super Friends team.
Yeah, but
with Dwayne Wade. Not
in
next
LA.
Not
or
next
what?
year. But I'm saying in like 3-4 years he's going to LA.
Okay, well, yeah. I thought he was going to LA too, but now I'm like, I believe that he's going to stay another year.
Today he said he's staying for a year.
Yeah. I believe him.
He's gonna go. He's gonna have super friends. You know, Carmelo, Chris Paul. They're all gonna.
They're all gonna like
at the end
organize
of their career,
it now,
exactly.
and then they're gonna be like the dream team.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing. Swipe left.
Swipe right or swipe left?
Officially today, the NHL, there's going to be a team in Las Vegas. Pro Sports in Vegas?
Yikes. Swipe left? No, swipe right.
Yeah, swipe right. We're good with that.
Yeah.
You been to Vegas?
I have. I remember parts of it.
I need to get out there. I've been there 4 times, and all 4 I've been by myself.
I can only stay 2 days.
Oh, yeah. You can't.
I mean, you can't stay longer
do a
than
week.
that. No.
There's no way. But I'm okay with this, you know?
Yeah, I
Hockey
like that.
out there, that's fine.
I'm into
everyone
that.
bets, you know? Everyone's gambling on things.
Yeah, I'm into that.
People ever tell you, like, I won a lot of money on you guys when you won the World Cup. Anyone say that to you?
No.
No?
Not yet.
Not yet. Maybe in the Olympics.
Maybe the Olympics.
Swipe right or swipe left?
Don't know if you guys saw this today. Cristiano Ronaldo, a reporter was talking to him before he was walking into his game today. And when the reporter asked the question, he took the microphone and chucked it into a lake.
That's swipe left, man. You got to respect
left.
the media.
Swipe left.
Yeah,
You
we're
can't.
people too, Allie.
I know.
We're people too.
We're all human, you know? He's just doing his job. I don't like that.
There's a part 2, though. He scored 2 goals in the game, though.
He
so does he
did.
keep doing
I
it,
saw
or
that.
does he not do it anymore?
So he did this pregame? Yeah, then you got to keep doing that then, you know?
You do whatever
Are you
want.
superstitious?
I am,
Little
but
bit.
I mean, I don't throw microphones.
So if you got
cameras
drop
and
the
stuff.
mic before a game, then you got to keep doing it if you're going to score 2 goals.
Maybe that's what he was doing.
Maybe.
Swipe right or swipe left?
We're switching it up. We're out of the sports section here. Entertainment. Yesterday, the Frozen ride opened up in Disney World.
Amazing.
300-minute wait, though. Are you
Good.
swipe
Swipe
right?
hard left.
Left.
Hard left.
I can't. There's nothing in this world that I could wait 5 hours
No,
for.
I don't have time. You can never get that time back.
No.
So
I went
hard pass.
to Universal a couple weeks ago. That place is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Universal
it is
Studios.
cool.
Did you get to do? Did anyone on the team do the Disney World ride, or get to go down Main Street in a parade after you guys won?
No, I mean the New York City parade kind of was.
Yeah, I guess that's a little
doing
bigger.
the most.
Yeah.
So we didn't have much energy after that one.
The argument, though, to that is Epcot's the only park that has alcohol from every part of the world. So I'm just saying.
I did do the wine tour there.
The wine.
at
So you got to
Epcot.
do beers around the world.
I think it was like a
probably
mix. It was
Food
a
and
mix.
Wine Fest is what she's talking about.
Yeah, the
Which is
wine
also
fest.
amazing.
It was amazing.
Really good.
I only
Checked it
made
out.
it halfway around, but
You were in Germany. You're probably used to. You
Oh
probably
my gosh.
were crushing Steins all night.
Hefeweizen
Yeah.
and all that Pilsner, Koch. Yeah.
Swipe right or swipe left?
Final one, I always try to sneak a food one in on these guys because it's usually pretty nasty.
I'm into that.
Burger King just announced they are doing mac and Cheetos. It is deep fried mac and cheese with Cheetos breading on the outside. Ooh. You swiping right or you swiping left on that?
At 2 a.m., I'll swipe right on. Depends.
I haven't been out at 2 a.m. in a
Yeah.
while, so I'm gonna go
No,
left.
yeah, I'm a boring old married man,
Yeah.
so unfortunately, but college days, yeah,
I mean, yeah,
I swipe right in
college.
college and that, but that just sounds like a heart attack waiting to happen.
Yeah, no, I can't do that.
All right, Mike, good job.
Thanks, Zach.
Well, I thought
good.
those were pretty good.
Work sort of hard.
Allie, before we let you run, we were just kind of joking about it. You obviously being from this area, how often do you get recognized? Quite a bit?
Yeah, quite a bit. I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of people, they're so sweet and they come up to you and just say congratulations and, they just are really, really nice and say, hey, like, good luck in the season, or we watched you guys play, or we came up to a game and, or we watched the World Cup and good luck in the Olympics. Like, it's just, everyone's so, so nice. And, I'm so grateful for that because it just means they're just as passionate as I am about what I love to do in the sport. And they, women's football is growing, and that just is so nice to see. And around the community, especially in DC, it's amazing to see and really incredible that we have such great fans.
TMZ's not trying to get you?
No.
Not yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
Don't think about it, TMZ. Get out of here.
Before I let you run, I heard you kind of talking about, I think it was in the body video, you've got a big tattoo.
I do.
What is that tattoo on your side?
It was from the first German book I read, and it's called Der kleine Prinz, which is The Little Prince. And I know there's a movie out now of it, but it just, it was so inspiring for me and very insightful, and it just says, one sees It's funny because I have to translate it.
You're reading through it right now.
Yeah, I'm like reading through it. That's what's interesting. Yeah, it says one sees good with the heart, but what's most essential is invisible to the eye. And that I don't know. It just was really inspiring for me, and especially in German for the first book I read. It was something that I was proud of too. But I wanted to take something. I mean, all my tattoos are just.
How many?
I only have 3.
Okay.
But they're just different parts of my life that if something inspires me, it's that much that I don't know. I enjoy to.
I can't imagine.
I have it on my body, and I can tell a story.
Yeah, but I can't imagine. I mean, how long did that take on your ribcage?
It was actually only about an hour and 15 minutes.
Okay.
It wasn't too.
That's not too bad.
Too long, yeah.
Still.
But on the rib cage, that wasn't.
Yeah, there's not a lot of meat there to stop anything. Allie, this was a lot of fun. I really appreciate you coming in, and
thank you.
When you guys win the gold medal, can you bring the gold medal back in here?
Oh my gosh, yes.
All right.
Yes, I will definitely do that. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you guys.
You guys are great.
When's the next home game?
Yes, please. We have 3 more home games in a row, so please go out, and support us. We play New Jersey Sky Blue this weekend, 7 p.m. on Saturday. Yes.
And tomorrow, did I read something? Tomorrow's a special day?
We have an open training session.
Okay. That's cool. What is that?
You have to just register online at WashingtonSpirit.com. Bring your friends, bring your kids, bring yourselves, and just enjoy watching us play. And you kind of have an intimate, time where you can meet the players and just have a little chit chat and hang out and just enjoy the outdoors, I guess.
Well, Allie, you're playing for a team in DC and you're playing for the United States. There's no one here that could cheer against you. So we really appreciate the time. Thanks so much and best of luck.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Allie Krieger, really appreciate her time. When we come back, what Jamison Crowder had to say to us last week that's now getting a lot of news. We'll do that next. It's DMV Game Time.